If you've ever really wondered why some babies wake more at night and whether it's down to hunger, habit, or development, you're not alone. This video explores one of the most common and confusing sleep topics, night waking, through a holistic, evidence-informed lens that values connection, context, and real-life nuance. Whether you're a parent, a health professional, or someone retraining to support families with sleep, this insight might just change the way you understand infant sleep. I'm Lyndsey, paediatric nurse, IBCLC, and co-founder of the Holistic Sleep Coaching Program. We train professionals worldwide in responsive, attachment-aware sleep support that never compromises on feeding, connection, or individual needs. Take Root, for example. She is an IBCLC who was absolutely committed to supporting families with responsive feeding. She was deeply trusted by her clients and often their first point of contact when things felt hard. But over time, she noticed a pattern. So many of the families she supported with feeding would hit a wall when it came to sleep. They'd return weeks later, confused and stressed, after following advice that didn't feel right, early night weaning, rigid schedules, or being told to ignore their baby's cues. Root realised she could only get so far without understanding sleep, so she joined the Holistic Sleep Coaching Program. Since then, her practice has completely changed. She now confidently supports families with both feeding and sleep without compromising on responsiveness, attachment, or values. And her clients, they feel seen, they feel supported, and they stay with her longer because she can guide them through the whole journey, not just one part of it. Let's begin with a myth. Babies should be sleeping through the night by 6 months. Now, there is no evidence-based age by which babies should consistently sleep through the night without waking or feeding. Sleep consolidation is gradual and highly individual. It's influenced by development, temperament, environment, and family dynamics. Waking at night is biologically normal, not a behavioural fault to fix. In fact, everyone wakes at night, adults and babies alike. The question is whether that waking requires help to return to sleep. Night waking tends to reflect a blend of biological and developmental needs, such as growth, neurological changes, separation awareness, or emotional processing. These can all increase night waking temporarily. This isn't regression, it's progress. Babies are growing and adapting rapidly. It could be temperament and self-regulation. Some babies, often those with calmer dispositions and more self-regulatory ability, may not signal when they wake. Others, especially those who are sensitive, unwell, more easily dysregulated, or have higher emotional needs, are more likely to call for support. This isn't about good versus bad sleepers, it's about individual differences. Or it could be learned patterns. Babies learn through repetition. If feeding, cuddling, or rocking has reliably helped them feel safe and return to sleep, they may come to prefer that approach. But here's the nuance. A preference isn't a problem. Habit isn't a dirty word, though unfortunately it's often used in ways that imply it is. We always come back to the same questions. Is it working for the family? Is it sustainable? Are everyone's needs being met? Do we need a compromise? And by the way, that compromise never needs to include harsh sleep training that ignores the emotional and relational needs of little ones. Now, you may have heard that formula-fed babies sleep longer or wake less often. This is a persistent myth, and it's not supported by research. A 2015 study by Brown and Harries found no difference in night waking frequency between breastfed and formula-fed babies aged between 6 and 12 months. What did differ was how parents responded. Breastfeeding mothers often used feeding as a calming tool to help their babies return to sleep. It was quick, it was familiar, it worked, it was soothing. Formula feeding parents, often more cautious about the potential to overfeed their babies if they just fed them every wake up, tended to find other methods: rocking, patting, pacifier, holding. So it's not that the formula helps babies sleep better, it's that feeding choices shape how parents respond, not whether babies wake in the first place. This distinction matters because families are often under pressure to switch feeding methods in pursuit of better sleep, when the evidence simply doesn't support that. Another common trap families fall into is trying to categorize night feeds. Was that a hunger feed or just comfort? The truth is, you can't always tell, and you'll probably drive yourself crazy trying to figure it out. Trying to draw a hard line between the two often leads to second-guessing, confusion, and pressure. Feeding is inherently multifaceted. It provides nourishment and emotional regulation, and in the case of breastfeeding, immunological support as well. It meets physical and psychological needs at the same time. This is especially true at night when babies are tired, less regulated, and seeking connection. So instead of trying to decode each waking, we guide families to understand what's typical at this age, reflect on what's working for them, and gently explore adjustments if something feels unsustainable. Now, one question we hear a lot is, can feeding back to sleep become a habit? Yes, in the sense that all humans develop preferences through repetition. Our brains are wired to recognize patterns. It's how we learn. So if feeding, cuddling, or rocking reliably helps a baby fall back to sleep, of course they may come to expect or prefer that response. But again, nuance matters here. A preference isn't necessarily a problem. Habit doesn't mean bad habit, and responding isn't spoiling or making a rod for your back. It's caregiving. It also doesn't have to be all or nothing. Many parents are happy to continue with 1 or 2 night feeds well into toddlerhood. They just don't want to be feeding every hour all night long. And that's fair enough. It's absolutely possible to reduce night feeds without night weaning completely, and without withdrawing comfort or compromising the feeding or responsive relationship. The key is setting individual, developmentally appropriate goals and supporting families sensitively towards them. Inside the Holistic Sleep Coaching Program, we teach students to approach night waking not with scripts or step-by-step programs, but with critical thinking and compassion. That includes understanding feeding, temperament, and environment, exploring what the baby might be communicating, and offering strategies that honor responsiveness and flexibility. It's not about aiming for perfect sleep. It's about building sustainable rhythms that support connection and work for that family. Whether you're a lactation consultant, midwife, doula, health visitor, or someone exploring a new career in sleep support, you've likely seen how delicate the balance is between sleep, feeding, and emotional well-being. So many families are left confused or overwhelmed by outdated advice. They don't need rigid rules. They need someone who sees the bigger picture. That's why we train our students to become professionals who offer evidence-based guidance, flexible, practical, creative tools, and most importantly, care without compromise. This is sleep support that protects feeding, honors attachment, and builds confidence. If you're ready to support families with sleep in a truly holistic way, we'd love to talk. Click the link in the description below to book a free discovery call with our team and explore whether the Holistic Sleep Coaching Program is the right next step for you. If this video gave you a fresh perspective on night waking, you might want to check out this video all about how to optimize sleep without sacrificing attachment. See you next time.